everybody, so today we are making a Greek lasagna. It's also called Pastitsio. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, but Pastitsio. That's the name. It's a Greek lasagna made up of 3 layers of meat sauce, bechamel sauce, and of pasta. So to start, we're going to start with 1 pound, that is 450 grams of pasta. You can use penne or you can use this kind of pasta. Cook it according to package instructions. For the meat sauce, okay, and before we start, I have to let you know also to turn your stove to 350, your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit to bake the lasagna. So okay, let's get started. For the pasta is getting ready. I'm going to make the meat sauce. For the meat sauce, you require 2 pounds of pasta, 2 pounds of meat, of lean ground beef. That's what I'm using today. 1 cup of stock. This is homemade chicken stock, or you can use store-bought chicken stock. 1 can of 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. I'm going to be using a little bit more tomatoes because I like it a little bit more saucy. And this is for the meat sauce as well. 2 onions, 6 cloves of garlic, 1 cinnamon stick, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon powder, and 2 bay leaves. That's all for the meat sauce. So we have, yeah, that's the meat sauce. And for the bechamel sauce, you need 6 cups of milk. I know it says 4 cups, but it's 6 cups of milk, 3 eggs, 3/4 cup of flour, all-purpose flour, half a cup of butter, and 2.5 cups to 3 cups of cheese. Usually they use Parmesan or a Greek cheese, but because I don't have that, I'm going to be using cheddar, a mix of marble and mozzarella. That's it. Thank you. So to start with, I put some oil in the pot. I put in the chopped garlic, 6 cloves of chopped garlic. I'm going to let it brown for a few seconds, and then I'm going to add the onions. This was 2 chopped onions. Okay, that's that. I'm going to let that fry a little bit. I'm going to add in the bay leaves, 2 bay leaves, and then I'll add the meat and the sauce. We'll come back. So you can see the onions are browning, and it should take around 5 minutes for the onions to brown. Then I am going to add the meat and fry the meat a little bit, add the sauce, and let that simmer for 15 minutes. When the onions are being prepped for the meat sauce, when it's frying, you can start on your bechamel sauce. So I started it before. Put ½ cup of butter into a pot, put the flour into it, and let it cook for 2 minutes or until the flour is cooked. Actually, I would say around 3 minutes. I'm still waiting for the flour to cook. So it should be around 3 minutes, around the 3-minute mark. Once your flour is cooked, you need to add the milk quickly and whisk it. Okay, I'm going to add the milk slowly now. As you add in a slow stream, keep whisking to make sure there's no lumps. I'm going to stop and whisk it completely. Make sure there's no lumps. And then add the remaining milk. You will need 6 cups of milk. I'm going to add 2 more cups of milk. This was 4 cups. I'm going to add 2 more cups of milk. This is the milk. So in total, I added 6 cups of milk to the roux. It was ½ cup of butter. When it was hot, I added 3/4 cup of flour. I cooked the flour for around 3 minutes, and I added the milk. Add the milk slowly and keep whisking to make sure that it doesn't form any lumps. So I'm going to whisk this until it's thickened. I'll tell you how long that will take. Okay. once the onions and the garlic turn brown, I added the meat. I'm breaking it up now. You can see. Once the meat browns lightly, I'm going to add, once I break down the meat, I'm going to add my spices. That's the cinnamon and the cinnamon stick. And then once the meat browns, I'm going to add the tomato sauce. We'll come back. Brown. Add the tomato sauce and let that simmer for 20 minutes. So as you can see, the meat sauce is simmering. I've turned my stove now to low and it's going to simmer for 20 minutes. In the meanwhile, I'm also making the bechamel sauce. I'm whisking it to make sure that it doesn't scorch at the bottom. So it's been around 7 minutes and it still has, I think, around 5 minutes more to go to get it into the consistency I want. Once your bechamel sauce is ready, you need to let it cool down and then add the beaten eggs to it. So it's come to a slow boil now, as you can see, and you have to keep whisking to make sure that it does not scorch at the bottom. So it's just going to keep whisking. It's getting thick. It's been around 8 minutes so far, and I think another minute or so and it should be done. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so the bechamel sauce is now ready. As you can see, the mixture sticks to the spoon. It coats the spoon and then you know it's done. It's bubbling, it's boiling, and I am going to take it off the stove and add 2 cups of grated cheese to the mixture. Once that cools down, I'm going to add the eggs. There you have a thick creamy cheese sauce. We're going to wait for that to cool and then add the beaten eggs into it. What I forgot to say is you should add a little bit of salt. I'm just going to add to my liking. I think that's good. After you add the tomato sauce, what I neglected to add was the beef broth. It's not too late. I'm going to add that now and let that simmer. I have 12 more minutes left on my timer. I'm just going to let that simmer. And also please check for salt towards the end of the cooking process. So what I forgot to add before is a little bit of nutmeg to this to the cream sauce. You need around half teaspoon of nutmeg. So I'm just grating some nutmeg directly into the sauce, and whisk it. It's still warm, so it gives the sauce a really nice flavor. So half a teaspoon of nutmeg. I am my white sauce has come down to lukewarm. I'm going to add the eggs shortly. Before that, I just want to get the meat sauce ready. I'm going to take out the bay leaves. I'm going to take off the bay leaves and the cinnamon stick. And this is the time to check for salt. It does need a little bit of salt, so that's what I'm going to add. Now I'm going to add my eggs to the cream sauce. It has cooled down and it's almost room temperature. So I'm just going to add that and keep whisking it to make sure that it's incorporated into the mixture well. I do this for a minute or so to ensure that there's not a slightest chance of the eggs cooking inside. Okay, guess we're ready. Now what I'm going to do is add half of the pasta. So I'm putting half of the noodles into the pan, and I am going to mix it with 2 cups of cream sauce. That's approximately 2 cups of cream sauce. I'm going to mix that. And it's a good idea now to taste for any seasoning. If you want to add a little bit more salt to your liking. I think that's good. I don't need to add anything more. I'll add a little bit more to this to make sure it's completely moist. Okay, so that's the way. Then if you have any leftover cheese like I do, you could add it now. Just a little bit of smattering. The cheese sauce already has enough of cheese, so you don't need to do this step, but I have extra cheese, so I'm adding that. Now I'm going to add the meat sauce. Now I'm going to layer the remaining noodles. I wish I had a deeper pan, but this will do for now. Okay, I'm going to add the cream sauce on top of this and let that bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to add a little bit of breadcrumbs to this and let that bake. Make sure the pasta is completely covered in the sauce so it doesn't dry out. I just put those in. I think that's it. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's ready to go into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. So this is the Greek lasagna that is just out of the oven, and it took around 35 minutes to get this golden brown topping and these layers. I'm going to let it sit for around half an hour, maybe a little bit less, around 20 minutes, until it firms up and cools down. Once we cut into it, I'll show you what it looks like. Now I am cutting it even before it's done. It's set completely, but my kids are hungry, so this is it. So the next time I do this, I'm going to let it cook for at least 45 minutes, and I'm not going to put the breadcrumbs. I had to take it off earlier because the breadcrumbs were browning too quickly. So for next time, without breadcrumbs and baking it for 45 minutes. Okay, thank you. So this is what it looks like after an hour of sitting out. You can see the three distinct layers of bechamel sauce, pasta, and the meat sauce. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and if you make this lasagna using the recipe, please give me a shout out or please leave a comment. I'll be happy to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.